I wanted to sit down here and talk to you about your trash. Why would we want to be talking about trash? Well, one of the new cool kind of hip things is being zero waste or plastic free. But that really comes down to your consumption and your trash. So with zero waste or plastic free, which is something that I will be talking about here on Basic Lady 101, that's kind of just getting down to the basics. I mean, would our grandparents be like, yeah, I want to be zero waste? They wouldn't even know what we're talking about because that wasn't a thing. And they didn't consume as much as we do today. So I wanted to talk to you about trash because I think that is the first thing to be aware of when you are trying to be zero waste or plastic free or to consume less. So I was just going to get real and look in my trash. Now, we've been doing this a long time. We've been in this house for 12 years, and I have never used a plastic trash bag. And I'm going to talk to you about how we do that, also about what is recyclable, what is trash. You'd be amazed what is not recyclable. It's really important to see what your city can recycle. And yeah, let's just get down to it and look at my trash. Okay, let's take a look at my trash. Now I do have to say trash is one of my big things. I can go on and on about it. I think it's one of the most important things that we can do as individuals is, take a look at what we're throwing out, what we're consuming. It's one of the things that I'm really passionate about. And one of them things is keeping this out of the landfill. Okay, this is food scraps. This is compostable. And one of those things that should never end up in the landfill. It's actually a huge problem. About 40% of what goes into landfill is food material that can be composted. I think it's something that should be kept local. If individuals can't do it, cities should do it. Sending it off is just kind of ridiculous. I think every city should have an area where they can do it, but that's a whole nother subject. But that's one of the things. If you keep food scraps, this was from last night, out of your trash, that's a huge one. Then there's nothing that you need to worry about in your trash. This section is our trash. This is our recycling. When we remodeled the house about 6 years ago, we did this drawer, you pull it out, this is our trash. We probably, dump this twice a week, and usually this section is not full. This is about, I would say it's been 4 days since we threw anything out. So one of the things to do is to see what you can recycle in your city. Now, recycling is not the answer. Being zero waste, that's not, everything is recyclable. That's not part of being zero waste. Or plastic free. Plastic free is very hard. You can't be like, oh, I'm plastic free just because everything goes in the recycling. That does not, to me, that does not count. Now, it's super hard to get away from plastic, so you have to be really aware of what you consume and what you get. And I've been doing this a long time, and I still have plastic. I'm not perfect. I don't plan to be perfect. I don't think you can be perfect. I'm not the only one that lives in this household. I have 2 teenagers. I have a husband. I think it's really important to put systems in place. You don't want to drive your family crazy or your partner crazy with trying to be zero waste or plastic free, you have to kind of compromise. And you know, I've been doing this a long time, and there's definitely a lot of compromising. But let's take a look. First, here's this handout from my city and from the company who recycles in my area. And this kind of gives you an idea of what can be recycled. But I just wanted to go down and talk about what I have in my trash. See this thin plastic? That is not recyclable. Actually, if you put this in your recycling and it gets to the recycling center, it becomes a huge problem. It gets stuck in machines, it flies away. There's nothing you can do but throw it out. Now there is some companies out there that can recycle it. We can talk about that later. Here's some tape. That's trash. Go in the landfill. Here's some fuzz from a dog toy. Here is a wrapper from coffee. Now, because this has two layers, a paper layer and a plastic layer, it's trash. You know, another plastic wrapper. Here's another big one. This is a plastic container or bag from the dog treats. This is not recyclable. This is, you know, they don't know how to, you know, this is kind of the low grade plastic. So it's trash. Other things, you know, the bag from the cereal, candy wrapper. The rest is pretty much just wrappers. Even this here, because it's small, it's trash. Okay, let's look here into the recycling. You know, cereal box, cardboard, paper. That's pretty much it. Oh, here's a hard plastic. So here with this hard plastic, you got to see, you know, the triangle with the number in it. If it doesn't have that, it's trash. But this does, and my city recycles everything from 1 to 7 minus 6, which I think is styrofoam. So this is recyclable. I think, you know, one of the really important things is like this kind of stuff not being in the recycling, or paper towels, you know, other things that are highly recyclable, you know, aluminum cans. But aluminum cans can only be recycled so many times. The best thing is glass. Glass can be recycled over and over and over again. Even plastic. Okay, this is recyclable. It probably can only be recycled, made into something else, depending on what plastic it is, 1 or 2 times. So, you know, this plastic is a huge problem. It's something that, you know, modern day has really made a huge problem for ourselves, and it will be interesting to see, you know, what comes of it, because we do have to change our ways. And this is the first way to really, as an individual, to be able to make changes, is to really think about what it is you're consuming, what you're throwing out, how you're processing. To be honest, all this cardboard, I could compost here at home. But that's one of the things, is it's really important to, you know, do what you can and not drive yourself crazy. Because if you try to do too much and drive yourself crazy, it's not going to work. Or, you know, the other people in your family. I have 2 teenagers and a husband, and I have to put, you know, things in system that they'll use, and it's easy for them. So over the time, I'll be doing more videos about zero waste and composting. They're one of my you know, big things that I'm passionate about. So stay tuned.